Hello and welcome to our Duplicate Success International Team Training Call. Today's training features a very, very special friend and mentor of mine in USANA, and his name is Jeremy Stansfield. Jeremy Stansfield has been with USANA for over 20 years. He actually enrolled in fall of 1995. His story is very, very inspiring, coming up from doing carpet installation, a blue collar type of a job. Didn't really have much training in health at all, but he did have a big vision for helping others. Over the 20 years that he's been within USANA, he's a multi-million-dollar earner. He's blessed thousands and thousands of lives. He is directly one of the reasons why I've become a six-figure earner in USANA. So I'm very blessed to know Jeremy as a friend, and we're very blessed tonight to have him on this webinar to share his story. And he's going to share it from the very beginning to today. So I hope you guys have 3 or 4 hours ready. Just kidding. Jeremy's got a great story, and he's going to do it, I believe, in about 20-25 minutes, and we're going to open it up for questions. But I'm so excited to have 9-star Diamond Director Jeremy Stansfield on the line. Jeremy, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you so much, Jared, for the intro and for inviting me on the call.
Absolutely.
I'm going to turn down the volume here on my phone so I don't have feedback, but you guys know how to message me on my other phone if we need to go in here as far as
sure, and Jeremy, there's
Jeremy. My car on tax-free. I parked though, but I'm looking at some beautiful mountains here in northern Utah. About an hour's drive north of Salt Lake City, where the world headquarters and manufacturing facility is.
Jeremy.
I finished a workout actually at any time
Jeremy.
business, and everybody in there is doing USANA. It's awesome to go and work out there and be part of everything they're doing. It's just really cool. But I'm pretty
Jeremy, can you hear me?
Louder. A little overbearing or maybe too energetic. I just want to say that, one, I second doing a workout, but two, I am still so excited about our USANA business and what we're doing out there to make a difference to the clients. Like, I still sometimes lose sleep at night thinking about, what's happening and the brand that we're creating worldwide and the movement that we're creating. And when you think about this type of call going on, I mean, it's all over the world. I mean, it's so impressive to see all the recognition and all the people that are new on board already seeing success, not only in their health goals, but also financial goals. And then you look at, times that by so many teams that are also doing that across the country and other countries around the world in my organization as well. It's awesome. And above me, are other people that are actually doing that around the world too. And I really believe that one day USANA will be a household name. I really feel that it's a privilege to be part of USANA. And I really don't know what my life would look like today at all if USANA wasn't part of it, if I would have never have, looked at it closely. In fact, if the person that was introducing me to USANA would have given up on me any of the days that he called me over and over and over for literally 30 days before I finally opened up my mind and took a look at this, I don't even know where I'd be. I'd probably still be installing carpet for a living with our family business. I would be frustrated, I'm sure, not having time freedom. I definitely wouldn't have been able to reach out and help so many people, giving back and contributing time. I wouldn't even know where my health would be. I got to tell you that I was eating fast food 3 meals a day back before I joined USANA. Health and taking care of my health was like a foreign language to me. I didn't eat salad back then. Did not drink water. It was all Coke products, and in fact I got into the arcade business as well. I was still doing the commercial carpet, but I worked for a company that gave me free fast food at all the different restaurants within this building that had all kinds of different activities for like roller skating, miniature golf, and so there was all these fast food restaurants in there. That was crazy. So, back in 23 years old is when I learned about this. If I would have continued to do the lifestyle without making these types of changes with USANA in my life, no way would I feel the way that I do today at 44. I still feel like I'm in my 20s. Sometimes I still act like it too, but I have a blast. I use over 30 USANA products every single day. Still to this day, and I can't imagine not having it. In fact, if it's not around, I'm traveling or if I'm going boating or something, and we don't have it for a half a day or a day, like it's like a panic attack. Like, what's going on? I'd have to have my USANA. So I'm going to focus more about my business story, though, and I don't want to offend anybody that may be looking at or just recently on board with USANA because of just the products and what that does for you. So don't take this the wrong way. I absolutely love them. I'm not on the call today to really talk about the science or the quality or what's going to happen in the future, but I want to talk about specifically what I did in the early days. And it's not that you need to do exactly what I did, for example. I mean, I did go from ground zero to Diamond Director in only 20 months. But it set a new company record. Nobody had done it that fast back then, and nobody surely in their 20s had even reached Diamond. That's probably below 25. And so now we've had lots of people do that. Of course, it's more common. But back then, it took a different mindset. I had to come in and really be teachable, extremely teachable, and be paying attention to people that had what I wanted. Listen to people that were living the lifestyle, or at least on track to living the lifestyle that I wanted, and stop listening to people around me that were stuck at just a traditional dead-end job. Now, maybe some people like that, and there are still, lots of potential, there are contacts and family members and a lot of people around me that love that job security. They love what they do, and maybe they do a little bit with USANA, or maybe they'll never do anything with USANA, but that job security is just the most important thing to them. They just don't have any entrepreneurial spirit in them, and that's okay. That's all right. That's them. But we know that there's so much more to life when you can have that entrepreneurial spirit to get out there, really make a difference, have that time freedom, and serve others, right? And so I wanted to do that, and I wanted to find other people that were, and I did. I tracked them down on my upline. I tracked them down sideline. I drove forever to listen to them speak at events. In fact, some people were 3 to 4 hours of drive for me, so I'd always be in the car running out and listening to them, picking up some golden nuggets, or what can I learn from this person, what can I learn from that person. My upline sponsor happened to be the #1 top earner in the company worldwide. And so you would think that I actually had a lot of special time with him to learn the ropes and be really effective at what he was doing, but to be honest with you, he was incredibly busy, so I didn't get much of his time. In the time that I did have around him, I really paid close attention to him, and I did what he said. And a lot of things, didn't make sense to me in the beginning, but I did it anyway. And I was willing to cut ties with a lot of other things in my life. I had to learn to cut out people that were creating negativity around me. I had to learn to stop watching TV for me, because I'm one of those addictive personalities or extreme personalities where, I kind of watch a television show and people can talk to me all around me, and I don't listen to them at all. Like, I'm so focused. Or watch a movie and I can't, no one can get me away from the TV. So for me, I had to learn to completely get that out of my life. No more TV. No more watching news. No more reading papers. For me, I needed to focus on reading these positive books, just like Jared was talking about earlier, spending that time every day to get that positive influence coming into my life, because I needed to protect myself. I was being trained by mentors around me that said, you better thicken your skin. You've got to make sure that you're tough going through this. If you really want to get out there and make it huge, you're going to get lots of rejection, right? You're going to get lots of hurdles you got to overcome, lots of challenges. Everybody's challenges are different in this. For me, well, some people can probably relate with me, but for me, 2 major challenges. One, I had a fear of phoning like no other. So I stuttered through conversations. I was scared to death to be on the phone. I was so nervous to talk to people. I literally got to shut the door in where I was working around my upline sometimes and just sweat bullets as I was trying to get out these words in these sentences of what I wanted to share with people. I had to learn ways to make sure that I stand up during all of my calls to people, and so they could feel my energy and they could feel my body language. I had to learn to not sit down. I had to learn to pace if I needed to, get wireless phones back then. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but 20 years ago when I was building this, wireless phones wasn't so available, right? Cell phones back then were expensive per minute. My first mobile phone bill in the business, this was 20 years ago, was $1,000 for the first month. I couldn't believe it. I about fainted. Back then, we were passing out VHS videotapes. This was, we didn't have access to social media back then. There were no quick little great teaser videos like we have today. We didn't have Dr. Oz and 700 Olympic level athletes that are using our products and being able to share that story out there. We didn't have that type of credibility. We had to really push hard on ourselves. We had to grow. I had to grow. I had to, set those goals, but be personally accountable to them. I had to also go through some health challenges around this time too. Some of you may know a little bit about my story back then, but I was suffering from a pinched nerve in my shoulder. So my arm, my left arm, was half the size of my other arm. It was from so much atrophy. I literally had it in a sling a number of months when I was started to build, and I was scheduled for surgery, and I was taking USANA like crazy. I was eventually able to, not take all the pain medications and things that I was taking. Not that USANA is a fix-it or a cure-it-all for any of that stuff, but it's amazing what happens when you feed yourself USANA and cellular nutrition at optimum levels, and how that helps you maintain, your health and protect yourself. And so for me, it helped for me to really focus on getting my health back to normal over time. It didn't happen overnight, but thank heavens, I still don't know where I'd be again without finding the products back then and focusing on my health. Anyway, over time, had loads of energy. It never felt better. I was learning to eat better foods, being able to get away from that type of diet I had before, one step at a time. Everybody starts at a different place on the ladder, right? But the idea is to keep climbing, keep progressing. My dad is pretty successful, even in the commercial carpet industry. You'd be surprised at how that's been able to develop for him. And but he's always said, and I always remember him saying that you're either progressing or you're degressing, literally in every major area of your life at any given time. So this goes back to that personal accountability again. Am I progressing in my health goals? Am I in my fitness goals? Am I progressing or degressing? Am I in my relationship goals and my relationships with other people, with associates, with my significant other? I mean, there's all these pieces in our life that are important to us, and we've got to give it energy to be able to make it work, to make it positive, to be able to be the type of person that other people want to be. Because if you are out there talking to people about USANA and they don't feel that confidence from you, they don't feel energy from you, they're not seeing you on that progression, that doesn't mean that they need to look at you and go, oh my gosh, that person's not a gold director yet, or that person's not a ruby, or no, I got to go talk to a star diamond. That doesn't mean anything. What matters is that you're on that progression. You're on that ladder, taking that step one step at a time. And as long as you're progressing, people notice. They absolutely notice. And that's why earlier listening to the success stories about the weight that was being lost already, people are seeing that around you new folks that are on board. And so, people are wanting to, they're questioning that. They want to know what's going on because they see progression. And so this is really important. I hope you guys will make a mental note of this or write it down and really think of it as a golden nugget, because nobody can rate you on that except for yourself. What matters most is that, we've got to make sure that ourselves are strong so that we can inspire and help other people. No matter how much you want to help other people out there, if you don't have some financial backing to do that and maybe some time freedom to do that and contribute and serve, then you can want it all day long, but if you don't have some stability there to do it, then it's hard to bring that to fruition, correct? So a lot of this is really working hard on ourselves, working harder on ourselves than anything else we've ever done before, and that's what I did. And it was tough. It was not easy, and I had a lot of sleepless nights. I had, a lot of struggles. I know we can go out there and act like we're strong all the time, but of course we all need our moments. And when you get to those moments, you got to call up. You got to make sure you're on these webinars. You got to make sure that you're plugging into something. Reach out to somebody that can help you, get through a bad spot if you are. But for heaven's sakes, don't call down or don't message people or don't let people talk to you if you're just having a bad day, right? Because then people are going to feed off that negative energy. So be careful. Use some of that self-accountability. The other big thing that I had also a difficulty with was, presenting, really. It's one thing to go out and talk to somebody, get them committed to look at this. It's another thing to present to them, get in front of them and act like you know what you're doing. It's not just a couple of minute conversation now. A lot of people that know you potentially will look at USANA just because they trust you. That doesn't mean that they may not respect your business decisions yet. If you're not, real successfully at Blast, that's okay. They can respect somebody else's, like Jared's or and Crystal's or other people or my story that can see that and still come on board. But for you to present, it takes that next big step, right? Whether you're presenting in a webinar format, whether you're presenting with a Health and Freedom newspaper, whether you're presenting with, some of the videos that you download on podcasts on your phone or whatever it might be, slide presentation. But for me, wow, I used to give the worst presentations you've ever seen. Like, seriously, like some of the leaders today, still in my organization will say that, Jeremy Stansfield realistically gave the worst presentation on USANA they had ever seen, even to this day after all these years, 2 decades later. But thank heavens they still came on board, right? And why did they come on board? Even though I didn't give such a good presentation, I messed up a lot of the facts, I didn't say things right, but why did they join? Do you think that they joined because they'd done a bunch of research on Dr. Wenz? Or do you think that maybe they did a bunch of research on our pharmaceutical-grade manufacturing because we follow those GMPs? Do you think that maybe they tasted one of the bars or something or a drink back then and instantly they decided they were going to join? Probably not. I mean, that might have been an influence to that, but the main reason is because they saw my conviction. They saw me being motivated and driven in a direction, and that even though I wasn't giving the best presentation, they could tell that one day I was going to be really good at it and that nothing was going to take me off my track, that I was going to be this engine to drive this business, and it will happen over time. And they literally did not want to miss the train. They wanted to get on board because they did not want to miss out on that. And many of them, as Jared and Crystal know, we've seen them at all events. They're great leaders. I have hundreds and hundreds of gold directors and above. I think there's over 500 of them in my organization. I think we have close to 50 Diamond Directors and above through my organization worldwide now. So, all that, started realistically back when I was not giving such good presentations. And look where it's grown today. But when you come in hindsight and go full circle around this and look back at it, do you know what's happened is my personal growth and development throughout all the years. And by putting myself out there, taking action, making myself do the presentations and not having a way out, it forced myself to get better and better and better and better at them. Working on myself, trying to improve, getting feedback. And the business is really not that complicated. Really, it's about getting a commitment from people that will look at USANA, right? Next is to present and educate them and maybe sample some products to them. There's not a lot else to the business besides maybe the follow-up and helping them make a decision and answering some questions. So we've got to get good in these couple of areas. That's about it, realistically. And sometimes we can spend way too much time out there doing things that are kind of wasting our time. Too much time looking at all of our Facebook feeds or our Instagram feeds or Snapchat, and social media is taking over our world rather than using social media to grow our business. We sometimes can let things and people around us even take us way off track. So I hope that throughout, listening to what I've talked about, there's some golden nuggets here, but I'm going to give you an important one here, and that is that you really need to take an accountability of what's taking a lot of your time in a 24-hour period. Take a stopwatch or use your timer on your phone and take an accountability, just even one day in the life of you, one day in the life of Greg, one day in the life of Julie, and see how much time you might take pressing that newsfeed button on Facebook or having somebody influence you that might be a coworker at work that's probably not so good for you to listen to, but they continue to give you negativity. Think about how much time that program is coming into you. So maybe just take some accountability. You'd be surprised. A lot of people say, I don't know if I have the time to build a USANA. Oh my heavens, take an accountability check. Boy, you're going to see a lot of things that you could potentially cut out, and now use that time or even a portion of that time to focus on building your business. Do I look at social media? I do, but I'm really careful. I never look at my news feed all the time to make sure I haven't lost anything, because it's not that important to me. I more or less might look at certain people I want to follow, see what they're up to and their interests are, or do some notifications that come through to me when people post that are important. But other than that, I'm using these social media tools to help grow the business. And I got to say that, I've built a lot of different ways. A lot of you guys are wondering right now, well, how have you done it? And, where are you building locally? Are you building long distance? Are you, what tools you're using? And I can say that things definitely change over time, and we evolve, and USANA evolves, and we've gone from VHS tapes to DVDs to, of course, now to online videos, YouTube, podcasts. I mean, all kinds of stuff. We learned how to use webinars a while back. Now we're getting more used to using them again, and so we kind of go through these transitions. There's lots of tools available, but the main thing is that you're integrating and utilizing, and make sure you're using it every day. Find ways to grow your business every day. And so I built local. I built a huge business here in Utah, and I'm still building business right here in Utah, still enrolling people, still committed. I'll be speaking at our local presentation on Wednesday night here. You can send any guests you want, but I'm out doing one-on-ones, meeting people, and you know what? We've been building aggressively here in Utah since 1992, 3 years before I actually come on board with the business. So there's still opportunity everywhere. But I also enjoy building long distance, and I've had a lot of fun. In fact, I've probably built over 80% of my business long distance. So it's been a lot of fun to be able to, back in the day, get people excited and fired up, and I'd literally get them so excited that they'd run over to a Smith supermarket or an Albertsons or a Fast or a Kinko's or wherever to get a fax that I was sent to them as a 10-page fast fax back then. And that is how they learned about USANA. And I'd walk them through that and give them a little mini presentation. And that's how we got people, that's how we presented. Things have changed a lot since then, right? So we got all kinds of tools and pieces that we can utilize to build long distance today. And people can do that right from their home. Some people have a lifestyle where it's better to be out and about and meeting people face to face. Some people have an environment where you're a stay-at-home mom and you've got children around you and you've got responsibilities and you got to integrate USANA in the cracks. And believe me, some of these stay-at-home moms are outrageously successful in USANA. I mean, the top producers by and large in the entire Direct Selling Association are female over men, by the way. So there's awesome ways to do that. So you got to remember that USANA can fit in. It can work for you no matter what situation you're in. Some people build differently over in other countries. Like I've built in the Philippines, I've built over in New Zealand, I've built in Hong Kong, and when I've gone over there and grown there or worked with them over in Skypes in the middle of the night, they do things a little bit differently, but that's okay. At least they're fired up, they're aggressive, they're building, they're excited, and however that fits for them, they're doing it. I would probably say that events is the last thing I wanted to hit on here as I'm running out of time. I just wanted to say that, there's no way that I'd be where I'm at today without seeing people at events and building my belief level. I mean, it recharges your batteries. It gives you hope. You connect with people, and you find those personalities and can build new relationships with people that can resonate and connect with you. So not everybody's going to have that same personality that I connect with, or that they connect with me. And so you find others that you can. And you know what? Like the overall feeling that you get walking into a major USANA event, like the International Convention or the national event that's coming up in Vegas, which I'm hoping you guys are going to be there. I'm going to be there speaking. It's going to be a powerful segment that I'll be talking about on stage. I hope you're there. Do whatever you got to do to be there. If you can still pull it off, get there. But there is a feeling it's hard to explain in words when you walk through the doors at these major events. Like there's this energy that starts getting injected into you, and it's like So it's like someone's hit this reset button. They've somehow, plugged you into a battery, and now you've got so much more voltage and amperage that, lets you go out and not only absorb more, learn more, but, be more bulletproof, be Superwoman, be Superman, Wonder Woman. And so, you got to think about it this way. We have a huge business opportunity. We really do. I mean, obviously, the Krebs, they're earning six-figure income. That's massive. Think about that in residual income. I mean, that's like a multi-million-dollar asset when you think about it. In terms of comparing what that would equal out there in residual or leveraged income. I know that a few years back, I was recognized on stage for earning over $10 million in commissions and bonuses from the company. It shocked me when I heard about it, and I was recognized with one other distributorship on stage. Like, oh my gosh, has it really been that much? But it has, and now it's a lot more, and it's crazy. It's a huge business, massive. But we don't have to worry about the traditional headaches of other businesses. We all know that. We market that. We sell that every day. We don't need to worry about the employees and the overhead, and we don't have to worry about tools like if we're going out and running a construction business or needing to buy all kinds of cars or equipment or cranes or anything like that. But what we do have to do is invest in ourselves. Our tools are us. I mean, yes, we have some side tools here and there, but the lion's share of what we do is invest in us. So like going out to these events, it's an investment in you, and what that's going to translate into is you to be a better, more effective person, more efficient, re-energized, to now go out and translate that where it helps other people. In the end, it isn't really even about all the money anyway. It's about pushing ourselves to do more than what we've done before, being able to serve more, help more, in whatever capacity that ends up being in all of our own ways. I love a lot of things in my life. I'm pretty outrageous, and I'm pretty extreme in a lot of different areas. And some of the areas you may see on Facebook or Instagram, and you think, man, that's Jeremy, and that's just all he is. But do you know what? There's a lot of other areas that I don't feel comfortable about posting on social media, too, that are really important to me in life. And so everybody's going to have, USANA, you'll find that USANA ends up becoming this instrument, this vehicle to help so many people. And, in the end, that's what we want. I mean, we want to all be healthy and happy for an incredibly healthy life. And nobody can compare to that. And I'll tell you what's coming up right around the corner with USANA, with what's happening with these new things that will be launched, it's going to revolutionize the nutritional industry. I know that might sound a little bit scary, but, it's awesome. The company's been working on it for a long time. And we are now positioned with everything from Dr. Oz's, the connection to everything we're doing there, to all the Olympic athletes, to, all of us associates out there to carry this message to the world. It's exciting. The next few years are going to be the most incredible, powerful years ever in USANA's history. What we used to think was nearly impossible, and people would go out there and achieve it. What people will do here in the next up-and-coming few years will dwarf, will devastate, will be catastrophic compared to what we've done before. I'm telling you, you're going to see it happen. I'm going to be part of it. Why am I still working and involved in building in my focus legs? I'm excited because I want more people to benefit from all this too. I want to help create more success stories. It's happening. It's right around the corner. It's personalization. It's the future. And it's at a whole new level. So I think I've pretty much covered everything. Is there anything else, Jared, that you wanted me to chat about, or do you think that I may have missed out on?
You covered it all, Jer. I was taking notes. I really liked what you had to say about tracking your time, being accountable to that. And I got a kick out of the facts. Y'all used to fax stuff, and they would actually go and get a Word document or something, and you would present that way?
Yep.
That's wild. I just want to clarify something too. You said you have over 50 Diamond Directors in your business?
Correct.
That is wild. Do you know the numbers of like emeralds and rubies and golds, or is it just too many to count? Or
I know that it's over 500, gold and above. I'm not sure how it breaks down, and I need to probably spend some time doing that. Back in the day, downline management wasn't even built yet. So, the first couple of years, all we could do is just kind of have a straight genealogy report that you get printed from the company, and then you'd have to have it mailed to you, and you have to pay for that, or if you could have it faxed if it was just a few pages. But it's crazy. I mean, downline management and team manager today is just so powerful and is right there at our fingertips and makes a lot of these things so much easier to do. Let me just say too, Jared, real quick, that life is so amazing thanks to USANA. And I don't want to break my hand or arm to pat myself on the back or anything like that, because it's not about me. It's about what we've created as a team, and but the benefits of where you can be and not needing to worry about the traditional headaches out there. I mean, I can't even imagine having a boss, or needing to worry about what time I get up tomorrow. I don't set alarm clocks, nothing like that. Anybody that hangs out with me, we're having fun. We're doing what we want to do. We're making a difference. We're talking to people, but almost zero time schedule. It's just so cool. It's so awesome to live life that way every day. Make fitness a priority. Make eating and food preparation a priority, and being able to just give your children and grandchildren just things in life that we never had. It's just unbelievable. And from giving new cars to some of my relatives, like my grandma that was in her 80s and dreamed of a red sports car, and being able to surprise that with her for a Christmas gift one year. My niece was never able to buy a car by herself at her 16th birthday. We went ahead and surprised her with a car for her, as a gift. And some of you know about when I've given away Hummers on stage before and other stuff like that. But I mean, it's endless. But I just can't even imagine, with life without USANA. We definitely are spoiled over time. Just remember, you're overworked and underpaid in the beginning, but down the road, you're overpaid and you're underworked, and you have freedom, and there's just nothing that compares to it. And I hope that all of you will stay focused and reach your goals with USANA. If not get a star Diamond Director, at least be able to, reach a six-figure income at least, because the benefits are just amazing.
I love that. I love what you said about overworked and underpaid in the beginning, and then you're underworked and overpaid at the end. Awesome stuff. Jeremy, we have some people that have some questions for you, and I know a lot of you on the webinar are on the phone. So if you're on the phone and you have my number, please text me if you have a question you'd like to ask to Jeremy. And then also, if you're on the webinar, you can raise your hand. And while you guys are preparing your questions, I want to just make some final announcements about the upcoming events that we have going on.
Okay, I just want to thank Jeremy for being on our call tonight. I do have a question. What has been your best personal development book that has helped you overcome your obstacles?
Well, I know that this is still going to sound a lot of old school, but Think and Grow Rich is still the thing that, for me at that time when I joined, I really needed to hear that. I listened to it actually on audio, but I've read it as well. But it made a huge difference. And then the next one that helped me really overcome things and get to Diamond Director was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. So, big for me at those times in my life. Think and Grow Rich is by Napoleon Hill, for those that have not found that yet. We used to have every single new person read Think and Grow Rich or listen to it on audio cassette within their first month of getting started in the business. So that's how much we really used to promote that. So I'm sure there's some other great books and things nowadays as well, but there's so many of them out there. It's just kind of I'm sure that you guys all find your own pieces that really work for you. So.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Jeremy. Appreciate all of your information and the training that you did for us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And Jeremy, I have a follow-up question to that. What are you reading right now, or where are you gaining inspiration from right now?
I've been kind of really digging into Eric Worre's stuff. So, been really impressed and kind of been looking at Eric Moore as a mentor that I've needed for a while. And so that's just kind of what I'm spending my time with, or my spare time with at the moment.
Awesome. GoPro. All right, Jeremy. Well, thank you. I want to just make sure we don't have any other questions before we end the webinar. Dad, are you able to see if anyone else has questions?
I have it up, but I'm not sure if they have the ability with any meeting to raise their hand at this point.
Really interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I haven't gotten any text, so we're going to go ahead and close it just because we're ending right here. We want to end partially on time. Jeremy, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for making the time to be on this webinar with us and share your story and sow into our team. It really does make a huge difference to hear from you and hear your story. And not only for our new people, but for me too. I mean, it's so inspiring, hearing that you have over 50 Diamond Directors in your business. And it just opens my mind so much to the possibilities of growing that way. And so, I mean, even just for me, it's been phenomenal tonight. I took 2 pages of notes everywhere, and really appreciate your time. And is there any final tips or advice you could go back in time to give yourself when you were first starting? The Jeremy today, talking to the Jeremy from 20 years ago, what would be the biggest advice you could give to that person?
Well, things have really changed for me in terms of goals over time, but I never want to forget where I came from. Because back when I began, I really just dreamed of being able to be my own boss, have stability, have leveraged income, have a team to go out there and grow older with, of course, but have fun with, and create a vehicle that would be strong and stable for having a family life. And I was fortunate. I was able to start building my USANA business prior to having children and being married. So I was able to focus, sometimes harder than other people would in their first year or 2 years. So sometimes my story can be a little bit overbearing, but it created that. It created that lifestyle for me, and I'll never forget that, and I cherish that. And if it never would have gotten bigger, I still would have been the happiest person you've ever met. And the ability to go out and dream bigger and to push more and to set more goals and to set that example, not be complacent, but push more. That's been the thing that's really kept me going and building. And whether you have, I know someone was just recognized for earning their $100 commission check and going believer. Well, that should be the smallest check that person ever earns again. And so if you look at it that way and go, I'm going to push myself to build bigger next week. I'm going to push myself to build bigger next month. I'm going to make more next month than I made this month. That type of mentality of pushing yourself is what's helped me to become the #1 top income earner worldwide in the company. Nowadays, I have an associate team below me, of course, Bill and Jenny Wayne, that are the #1 income earners worldwide. They earn more than I do, which is great. I love it. But I've been able to live a pretty amazing life the last 20 years. I don't work all the time. I don't put in crazy hours. I'm vacationing. I'm living half the time in Newport Beach, California, half my time up in Eden. I'm in and out of Europe, in and out of Asia, all the time having fun. And so, I'm still pushing, though. I'm still making USANA a priority. And as long as you're doing that and cutting out things in your life that are going to take you off track and not help you get to where you want to go with your dream, your goals, cut out those things. Be self-accountable. And I'm looking forward to seeing your dreams become a reality. That's what this is all about.
Absolutely. Jeremy, we've got 2 quick questions that came in. First one is from Krista Marquez, the one who just advanced her business to Share, the mother who enrolled 10 clients.
Yep.
And she says, what's the main thing that motivates you?
Well, I still have a lot of big goals, and so I continue to create more and more goals that I'm pushing myself to do. So I like to focus in lakes where I can build new success stories, where my eye is on the ball. Technically, this team call is really the Krebs organization and their focus legs, and I have kind of my own things going on in my focus legs, and working with people on a daily basis and working in the trenches is what makes me happy. I love it. And when I go for a couple weeks without building, maybe on a vacation retreat to Maldives or Dubai or something, and turn off the phones for 11 days being on Lake Powell or something like that, I miss building USANA. I come back, and even though I'm doing those vacations a lot, I still can only go so long, and I need to be back in contact and being back in the game, so to speak. And it allows me in the end to continue to serve and contribute and have more life, have more energy. It's almost like a fountain of youth that keeps you young, building USANA. So I love it.
Wow, I love that, because sometimes it seems like all the luxury sometimes can be, it's not totally fulfilling or something in some way, but you can always come back to building, and that gives that fulfillment, and then have the balance of fun and building. And I'm taking more notes, by the way. Very good.
It's definitely it's really a dream to be able to be a Star Diamond Director and to be able to do this. And I see others do it, and it's just, you explain it, you help mentor people there, and then once they get there, and it's just like, wow, in their own world, it's just, they just got smiles on all the time, and they're happy people. Not that Star Diamond Directors don't solve problems. We still all have challenges and things. They're just a little bit different than what most people's are. So it's awesome. Awesome.
Wow. Great. And last question is actually from Aurora Cantu, one of our longtime associates and dear friends. And Dad, could you please unmute Aurora? Are you there, Aurora? Dad, are you there?
Yeah, she's unmuted. She's unmuted herself. Aurora, we can't hear you. Aurora? Oop. I can see her unmuting, but sorry, Aurora, can't come through. Darn.
Okay, so we don't have Aurora's question, but the final question then is going to go to Khalid, who just texted me. Man, all of a sudden everyone has questions. Khalid asks, Jeremy, what was your daily routine like when you first went Diamond? So that first 2 years that you built your business, what was your daily routine like?
USANA, a little bit of eating and a little bit of sleeping. USANA. But it was really just, obviously lots of contacting, lots of presenting. Follow-ups come through on Fridays, so Fridays are always a different day than Monday through Thursday. Fridays are always, our close days and follow-up days, and ramping things up, working with people to help get their people closed as well. So, but Monday through Thursday, we're big into production and getting things in place and urgency, and unfortunately for my world, like one day is never the same as the next. It kind of makes it fun and interesting in our kind of role of direct selling and being a huge leader. It's really never the same. And even back then, it was never the same, just because some days you have more appointments than others, and some days you have no appointments, and maybe the next day you have no appointments, and you're just doing nothing but calls out to people, and then the next day you're tied up with associates because they're needing your help for three-way calls. Now you've got to urgently run out and do this presentation for someone, or you've got to do a webinar really quick, or a live meeting, or a Google Hangout. And so it takes you away from being able to hit your own personal goals that day of how many people you're going to contact. So, it changes and varies every day, but it really just comes down to personal production and trying to keep your head away from too much management stuff and too much stuff that takes away from your time of being, productive and healthy and positive. So, wish I could answer your question better, but that's the reality of it.
No, that was great. Clede really appreciates it. He's not able to talk right now, but definitely Khalid's one of our very best. He just advanced his business to achiever status. They're going to be in Las Vegas, and he's definitely mastering his own routine. He's got a son, and he's married, and he's really good at making time for them and also building his business. So, you're going to meet him in Vegas, and you'll love him.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your rank and where you're going. So, good stuff.
Awesome. All right, Jeremy. Well, want to say thanks again for taking the time and actually taking the extra time as well to answer these last questions. Our whole team is definitely on fire about this and excited, and look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas.
Awesome. Look forward to seeing you as well, you and Crystal and Viola and Randy and everybody else on the call. So it's great being a guest, and you guys have a wonderful night.